What is up, everybody? It's a Mystar. We're back with another live for ya. Coming right at you with the astrology, mate. And today I wanted to talk about the fact that we are in Scorpio Sun and Aquarius Moon. I did break this down in the last video, but I wanted to make a proper video breaking down the different characteristics of Aquarius and Scorpio. We already know a little bit about Scorpio because I've gone into those characteristics. But, you know, for those who may be new to astrology or just wanting to brush up on the different traits of each sign to be able to know the ins and outs, then this video would be beneficial, you know, to you, for you to be able to sort of get a grasp on the characteristics of Aquarius and Scorpio and why those characteristics are the way that they are. So yeah, excuse the thumbnail, guys, excuse the thumbnail. I was trying to yeah, don't mind me, guys. I was trying to connect to the chat, but it took me out of the app. Let's not have any of that. I'm not here for it. So yeah, excuse the thumbnail, guys. I could not change the thumbnail no matter what I was doing on the YouTube website. So I just decided to leave the thumbnail as that old photo of one of my other videos, and I'm going to change it after. Hopefully YouTube lets me. Though, it's a little bit sus that YouTube is not letting me change my thumbnail now all of a sudden after I did some kind of US election video. Like, what are you trying to do? Anyways, that's besides the point. I don't want to give that energy because that's a weak shit right there. Even if there was someone trying to do something and trying to like alter my channel in some kind of way, that's just weakness to me. So I don't see a reason to even bring that up. But we all know what kind of space those people would even come from if they have to do stuff like that. So let's get straight into the video, guys. It's my style, alright? Today, I'm going to break down and say what you want to hear about the astrology. You know, we got the vibes and we got the say. I know how to do it and my name is Mystar. Ice. You know that I'm nice. I don't give a fuck. If you want to give me lice, I don't know, bitch. I couldn't think of something on the spot. Or maybe I was just overthinking. I would say that's probably more accurate because I notice if you're an artist and you be overthinking, like whatever it is you do, any form of art that you do, that's when you start to create blockages because you'll be thinking about what this person might do, what that person might do, how this person might act, and how that person might act. And then you lead yourself down a rabbit hole of creating a mental cage for yourself because you're creating thoughts and feelings of how it should be, as opposed to like allowing your mind to be free. You have to allow your mind to be like an open I was gonna say canopy because I don't even know what a canopy is, bitch. Shout out to Dollar Palette Man, he's the one who talks about it like that. It says canopy. But yeah, you need to allow your mind to be open instead of closing it in with so many thoughts and feelings about what it should be or how it should be. And this will allow your creativity to flow a lot more freely, you know, because you're not restricting yourself with thoughts and feelings. It all starts in the mind, guys. It all starts in the mind, alright? If you fucking waste your mind, it's really you're wasting your life. So start with the mind. Your life will get white, I said by accident, but no, your life will get more righteous for yourself. So yeah, when we're talking about the alignments right now, the world we are in is Aquarius. So fixed air is Aquarius. The fixed air is the name of the game. And when we're talking about something being fixed, right, this is something that's more stable. It's more like immovable. It's like a rock, you know, a rock is fixed in place. A rock is sitting there, it's not able to move, right? But air is to do with thoughts and communication and travel. So when it's talking about fixed air, it's thoughts and communication and travel, but more of a fixated way where you're able to fixate your thoughts and feelings or others' thoughts and feelings, or in this case, because Aquarius is related to your associations, the 11th house of associations, you're able to fixate your associations in a more stable manner. So you're able to take that air quality of yourself, your thoughts and your feelings, as well as like that travel kind of energy, that movement kind of energy, Because think about it as well. When you communicate your thoughts, that's a form of travel in itself. So this is why air represents travel. It's talking about the travel of the thoughts, the travel of the sound through your mouth, from your brain down to, from your mind to your brain to your freaking mouth, and then boom, you spewed out a new child. You gave birth to a new thought or feeling out of your mouth, out of your oral, I was going to say orifice, but that word sounds kind of fugly, but you get the idea, loves. You get the idea, alright? So when we're talking about fixed air, you're fixating this air quality of yourself. You're able to fixate your thoughts and your feelings, aka you're able to develop your own thoughts and feelings in a sense of gaining some form of stability with yourself. You're able to fixate maybe others' thoughts and feelings onto a certain goal or common idea as well. This is why Aquarius is known as the ones who can gather a large group together and get everyone under a common idea, because they're able to fixate people's thoughts and ideas into a certain area, into a certain aspect, into a certain energy, right? So as an Aquarius, you're able to develop your own way of thinking, or fixate on your own way, really. It's about fixating on your own way of thinking, communicating, and movement, like travel, forward movement, travel. So when it comes to being an Aquarius, if you're Aquarius, sun, moon, ascendant, really generally it's sun. So if you're an Aquarius sun, then you are meant to develop and fixate your own way of thinking, communicating. You're not and logically interpreting the world. So you're not meant to be a follower. You're not meant to be someone who goes based on someone else's idea or concept. So if you're an Aquarius and you're doing that in some way, shape or form, I would argue even then you're not doing it, because you may be following someone, but you're still doing it in your way of fixating on your own way of thinking, communicating, and logically interpreting the world around you. You know what I mean? So like, as an Aquarius, you can't really escape this energy. This is why Aquarius is also considered unique or individuals, partly because they're co-ruled by Uranus, which is uniqueness and originality, change, rebel, and opposition. Which Uranus right now, if I'm not mistaken, let me check. Uranus, bitch, no. Uranus is in Taurus, so we're changing, rebelling, and opposing against those Taurus qualities. So Taurus is about stability, consistency, being fixated on your own way of practicalizing and thinking about things and making sense out of the world. So it's similar to Aquarius because it's got that fixed quality, being fixated on its own way of, but because it's Earth, it's about practicalizing. It's about making sense of the world around you, and it's still got that thinking quality, but it's not so much about externally thinking, where it's communication with air. It's more about the internal thinking. So Earth is more the feminine aspect of the thoughts. It's like when you think, like if air was, like, let's say if air was you communicating and talking to someone and sharing ideas and sharing thoughts, then Earth would be, once you share that thought, now you're starting to think about it and mull it over in your brain. Now you're starting to make sense out of it in your own way. That's the Earth quality right there. All right. So with Uranus being in Taurus, we're changing, rebelling, and opposing against old ways of stability, security, or fixated Earth qualities, fixating on our own way of thinking, practicalizing, and making sense out of the world around us. All right. So we're going to be changing and rebelling and opposing against these things for a while, because Uranus is a larger planet, so it takes a lot longer to revolve around each of the signs in the zodiac. And right now, it being in Taurus, the overall theme of like this past year or however long Uranus has been in Taurus has been about changing and rebelling, opposing against old ways of stability, security, safety, shelter, and like those earth-like qualities, making sense out of things, practicalizing the world around you. All right, so we're going to be developing new ways of these, new ways of stability, security, safety, and shelter. So this is why a lot of people online, you'll hear them talk about the world going through some kind of shift. We're shifting into a a state or an energy where we're more able to change and be in that kind of a bit of a mutable energy, especially because this year's an 8 year. 8 is to do with transformation. And the reason why this year is an 8 year is because if you add all the numbers up in the year 2024 equals 8. So 8 in that astrology is the house of transformation, because it's where the sun goes to die. When we're talking about on a larger scale, if Aries is where the sun rises, so in the morning 6 a.m. to 8 a.m, this is the Aries, the first house energy. So if Aries is where the sun rises between 6 a.m. to 8 a.m, then when the sun sets, that would be Scorpio, which is 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Actually, no, 8 p.m. to... It's like, because I'm pretty sure Libra is 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then once we get into 8 p.m, that's when we get into Scorpio. So that's after Libra. That's when the sun begins to die. It goes, really, it's not dying. I mean, in a sense it is, because it's a new sun every day, a new sun being born every single day. This is why we have different transits, different energies. This is why you can wake up every single day and experience a completely different energy, a completely different atmosphere. You know, when you wake up every day, the air and the atmosphere is different, right? So this is not pseudo shit. This is just a way to explain what you experience on a day-to-day basis. So if you think this is pseudo, check it again, check it again, check it again. Anyways, so when we're talking about Uranus being in Taurus, sorry, I just lost track where I was at. Why did I talk about Uranus and Taurus? Oh yeah, because this year's a transformation year, the 8th house. So the sun dies, it goes through its transformation when it sets. The sky transforms literally when it sets. So this is where they're getting the allegories from. They're observing the world around us. Did nobody freaking think of the shit out of their imagination and just think, oh, let me just make up a random ass number and just say that this means this? No, they were observing something that was going on the external realm, and able to correlate that thing with their own internal energies, because they were able to understand their own internal energies based on, them being adept and being aware of their own internal space. So when it comes to the change, rebel, and opposition kind of energy of that Taurus quality in Uranus, we're going to be developing new ways of stability. And because it's 8 year, we're transforming these things on a more faster rate than normal. So a lot of people may notice that you are not able to go about your stability, safety, and security in the same ways that you have gone about it before. You're starting to realize that the world is kind of becoming like more different, in a sense where the old ways of doing things are not necessarily working the same way that they used to. All right, and this is part of this shift that I'm talking about with Taurus. I'm pointing up here because this is actually where my chart is. I got like a little box there, So yeah, with Taurus and Uranus. So when it comes to Taurus being in Uranus, that energy is going to be like strong throughout however long Uranus is in Taurus, which is going to be probably quite a while still now. We're only 25 degrees in. So we've got about 5 more degrees, or 6, 7, 8, give or take. Because really, like 3 degrees into the next sign is when it you fully start to experience the next sign's energy. So yeah, we're going to be changing, rebelling, and opposing against these old ways of stability, security, safety, and shelter, as much as you may not want to, and you may want to hold on to the old ways. The energy as above is influencing and is telling you and pushing you to kind of go in this direction more. All right, so this is how we're able to develop new ways of doing things with the support of the energy as above, right? And when you go against the grain, you can only do so for so long until the grain starts going against you a little bit. And this is when people start to experience kind of more trials and tribulations, or more friction like circumstances where it seems like things are not going your way, but it may just be that you're kind of acting in opposition to the energies that's naturally in the air during this time. All right, so it's about like harmonizing with the energy and not necessarily having to change what you do, but it's more like kind of utilizing that energy to help with what you want to change to do. But you still have to kind of know how to work with that energy in a sense. But as you get more and more adept at astrology, you'll also be able to develop some kind of better ways of doing it and techniques of working around certain energies too. But right now, as a beginner or wherever you may be, you may need to just kind of harmonize more with it rather than trying to go against it and like find little loopholes, because harmonizing is probably going to give you a more smoother outcome. And when you're not harmonizing, like I said, this is developing more trials and tribulations and more friction-like circumstances. So the more this happens, this is more likely that the stars are not aligning for you, and you may feel like you're doing the wrong thing or that you're going on the wrong path, but sometimes the case may be that you're not aware of the alignments right now, and you think that you should do one thing when actually you should probably be focusing on the opposite energy. All right, so when it comes to Aquarius, right? When it comes to Aquarius, being in the moon, the world of Aquarius is talking about, we're going to be seeing the world in terms of our associations, who we associate with, people, places, and things, all right? So we're going to be starting to, because Scorpio sun is there as well, we're going to be transforming these things, because Scorpio is to do with transformation and rebirth kind of energy, and also our deep desires and passions, all right? So we're going to be looking at associations, and we're going to be dictating whether or not our associations, the people, places, and things we're around, are beneficial for our deep desires and passions to be able to play through, all right? Or you may just be looking at your associations and seeing what you need to transform, what areas of it you need to change and shift into a new energy, or completely put death to the 8th house energy, and in order for you to associate with something that's more in alignment with your passions and your goals, right? So this is that Aquarius energy. It's giving us that opportunity to look at our associations and disassociate with what we need to disassociate with, all right? So especially as well, like a lot of people, if you're like washed up under the current or on a lower octave where you're experiencing the more negative side of the zodiac, which is just to say you're experiencing more situations that you don't necessarily want to experience, you may be experiencing during this time, because it's Aquarius moon, certain people disassociating or ghosting. So some people might call this ghosting season, right? So you may be during certain situations you may have to ghost certain people in your life, or certain people may feel like they have to ghost you. But as long as you're playing out the energies right in a more harmonious way, and you're being more wise through each of your experiences and knowing when to associate and when to not associate, then you won't have to lead yourself down that path of being ghosted or having to ghost in the first place, because you would have already done the work prior to leading up to Aquarius moon. You know what I mean? So, but if you're washed up under the current or just experiencing a lot of trial and tribulation, then you may experience certain people ghosting you during this time, or bridges being burned in certain situations, whether it's a person, place, or a thing, so being mindful of that energy as well, because some people might go ahead and burn a bridge that necessarily didn't need to be burned, so it's just about being mindful of the energies as well, because especially if you've only felt this way when we're in Aquarius moon, it may just be a part of the alignment, for you to feel like you should disassociate or escape out of something, right? Which is more Sagittarius energy, but still, you may need to kind of wait it out, waiting period, or pay attention to the time prior in order for you to know, okay, maybe I shouldn't actually disassociate with this person, because in actuality, I only just felt this way today, or I only just felt this way, blah, blah, blah. And really, if you logically look at it, you might start to realize that you don't really have a good enough reason to ghost them in the first place, all right? So just being mindful of all that. It's not even a cup of tea, guys. It's literally water. I got a weird thing of, I don't know if it's a thing, but I'll be putting water in mugs. I don't think it's necessarily healthy, but you know, not jokes. Who gives a shit? But what's it called? Yeah, because the moon is how we react and respond to things. It's the world we're in, right? You're experiencing the external world through your internal, and the moon is related to your internal selves, your internal space. Okay, so we're going to be experiencing this, everyone, you know, doesn't matter who you are, what walk of life you're from, you're going to be in some way, shape or form, you'll be experiencing some form of looking at your associations or disassociating with certain associations. So that is like the theme, the world that we are in, right? If the moon would be like the theme, right? Or like kind of, yeah, if really it's the world you're in. So if the moon is like the world you're in, associations, who you associate with, so that's like the world you're in, the world of associations. The sun is how that world looks. So with it being a Scorpio, it's going to be like either your deep passions and desires or transformation. So you'll be associating with your deep passions and desires or transforming your associations, or a combination of all three. So when it comes to those energies, this is how you can sort of get the grasp of how to blend a little bit of the sun and the moon together. When you look at the moon as the world that you're in, and then you look at the sun as the way that world looks. So is it a pretty world? You know, is it a world that's kind of more in the dark? You know, like Scorpio, it's more in the dark, so it's more hidden. It's more looking at the behind the scenes, your deep desires and passions. That's more like dark energy, which is really not dark or negative, as some people would think about it. It's just talking about your internal side of yourself, right? This is where the sun goes to die, right? So the sun's going into an internal space, you know. This is why people say the sleep is the cousin of death, because you're going internal. So when you sleep, you go within yourself, and this is why people say as well, like your dreams can come true because you're in yourself. And if your mentality bends into your reality, then of course your dreams are going to come true because you're in yourself. You're experiencing your inner selves, your mentality, your world. You know what I mean? So, sorry guys, I just heard the dog whining and I'm like, what? Is something wrong? No, nothing is wrong. She's probably just lonely because I'm making a video right now and I'm not involving her. But yeah. So yeah, that's how you guys can sort of get a grasp of the moon and the sun energies right now that we're going through, okay? So as well, depending on what house the moon and the sun is conjunct in your chart, like let's say if you have Aquarius in the third house, you know, so it'll be your associations will be based around third house kind of energies, the things you're familiar with, your immediate environment, like your mental or physical environment. So this could be like your neighborhood, the people that you live around. Could also be like your friends and stuff like that you kind of see every now and then, or every day, or however long you maybe see your friends. So this will be like the energy that moon influences. So you'll be probably reacting to your associations in terms of your immediate environment, your friends, your neighborhood, you know, that kind of stuff. So that'll be determining how that energy will influence the specific house that you have that sign in. Okay? So when it comes to the other alignments that we have in the sky right now, okay, we also have Mercury and Venus in Sagittarius. So, you know, Sagittarius is a very expansive kind of energy. It likes to think far out. It likes to think expanded. It likes to think big ideas. This is why the Sagittarius represents the archer, you know. It shoots high and far. So it's able to shoot for a distant thought, a distant emotion, a distant space. And this is why Sagittarius represents expansion too. And when it comes to Mercury and Venus, you may have this love and this a lot of ideas to think very expanded, think and communicate very far out. But it's important to be mindful of this energy right now as well, because it's kind of like a double-edged sword, where you may feel like you should talk or think about certain things that are far out, but they may be reacted to in a negative way, because again, Sagittarius is debilitated, I'm pretty sure, or yeah, I'm pretty sure it's debilitated in Mercury, so it doesn't like to be in Mercury. So when it comes to you expressing and communicating your far out thoughts and ideas, because you love and appreciate Venus, these things, sometimes it cannot be received in the proper way that you want it to be received, because Mercury doesn't like to be in that energy. It likes to think more close to home. It likes to think more relatable, more tight-knit kind of energies, right? Whereas Sagittarius likes to think way broad ideas, you know. So any other time it might be good for you to talk about more far out ideas, but during this time it's important to not take that too far, because you may lead down to certain circumstances of people looking at you in a not so savory way, which, you know, it's not like we care about what people think in the first place, but at the same time you could have made a better impression if you had have just realized the energies as above, instead of getting flunked out and getting washed up under the energies and then letting the energies kind of dictate how your life is run. This is why it's important to know astrology. You can dictate your life on your own terms, utilizing the energies. And then you become like, really, we should all be looking down at astrology, right? But as now, everyone sees it as something above them. But really, it's something you should be looking down at. You should be able to overstand astrology, overstand the wheel, you know, because you, at the end of the day, we create minds, we create thoughts, we create feelings, we create vibes, we create atmospheres. So these are just a part of our creations as a collective conscious. So being a part of that collective conscious, you need to know that it's always beneficial to create and to change and jump into new creations, rather than to stick with the old ways and stay in the old circumstances and situations. And the more you do that, the more you'll be able to rise above the astrology alignments, rise above the current, the esoteric waters that we're swimming in as spirits, and you'll be able to direct them a lot easier, as opposed to being directed by them. You know, you the director, bitch. You should be the director of your own show, producer, fucking everything. But you know, not everybody's ready for that. No judgment. You do you. Only go with your capabilities and your incapabilities. You know, don't overdo things. Sorry guys, I was just checking my notifications just in case, because I thought I had a message. Yeah, anyways, that's none of your guys' business. That's my personal life, okay? Fucking like I was about to tell my personal life. Also, sorry if anyone's in the comments, guys. I can't actually see my comments right now, so do apologize. I will check the comments after this video, but at the moment I can't check the comments because it'll take me out of the video and then the live will freeze. But what's it called? I have to sort that out, because this new app that I've got, you need to log into the comments as well as the channel. So like, but I don't know why, but I ain't complaining, because at the end of the day, this is one of the better apps that I found that doesn't have a watermark, has decent quality, is relatively easy to use. So I'm not going to complain about this app at the moment, because it's doing me good so far. But yeah, that was a low-key, subtly complaining, but that was me also pulling myself up. So yeah, when it comes to, yeah, those Sagittarius energies, being mindful of those Sagittarius energies will kind of help you to be a little bit more in alignment, okay? And you'll be experiencing more smoother circumstances rather than like turbulent bullshit, because nobody wants to experience bullshit, bitch. Fuck that. That's why I'm here, you know, because I don't want people to go through bullshit. And I know myself how to get out of that bullshit through utilizing certain tools like astrology and so on and so forth. So, you know, if I can share even a nugget of that knowledge with someone else, you know, who's on a similar path, or maybe not on a similar path and wants to get on that similar path, but either way, you're going to be on that path regardless if you're coming to my channel. Because I don't cater to people At least I try not to, you know. I may need to do shadow work and realize some areas where I am catering to others, but try not to cater to people. And people please. So when it comes to these channels, I shouldn't be attracting that kind of energy. And if I am, I may need to do some shadow work, or they may be just bots. So yeah, anyways, besides the point, alright? And we also have the sun and the moon squaring as well. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, that makes sense, obviously, because they're both fixed signs, right? So it's going to be a learning experience, having to learn, like the things we associate with may have a moment of, or how we react and respond and feel about the people, places, and things we're associating with may take us through a learning experience of, you know, having to learn about how our deep desires and passions may have led us to this point, or how maybe needing to learn about, you know, what led us to this point in the first place, regardless of your deep passions and desires, or what transformations you had to undergo in order to reach this certain point too. And like also like your actions, you know, how you act and how you perceive the world and how you express yourself externally. The sun may need to learn from your associations in terms of how to transform, what to transform, what you maybe have been transforming too much, or just lessons in general of how to develop a better space physically or mentally for you to be able to transform your deep passions and desires, and so on and so forth. I'm gonna be real, like that was a little bit of a wing for me, but let me know if that resonates in the comments, because like for me that was kind of me winging it, and then I started to, like, as I started to utter those words, I started to get like that mentality of like, wait, am I just talking shit at the moment, or is this actual facts accurate type shit, you know? But yeah, it'd be cool to know if anybody in the comments resonated with that specific part that I was just talking about, you know, because you know, I'd love to learn more about those kind of situations where I think that I'm talking shit because I'm kind of making something up on the spot, or learning about astrology on the spot. And you know, it'd be good to know so that I can grow, I can learn in my own way, which is part of the reason why I even do these videos as well, you know, because I want to learn and I want to grow in astrology. I want to expand my ability to talk about astrology. When I first started these videos, I didn't, you know, I wasn't around people that knew about astrology really. I was the one who knew about astrology, so for me it was sometimes a little bit difficult because I wanted to surround myself more with people that are like-minded like that. But with having, you know, people around you that don't really resonate or don't really always want to hear about that, sometimes it can get a little bit difficult, you know, because like other people want to talk about other shit. People don't always want to talk about what you want to talk about, you know what I mean? So for me, YouTube was kind of a little way for me to implant that seed in my reality by talking to someone, even though I'm not talking to anyone at all. But by talking to someone, I'm manifesting more of that energy of me being able to talk about astrology, and I'm seeing the fruits of my labor as I make videos more and more. Yeah, so as well, I wanted to shout out Russ.alien on YouTube. I'm going to do a video on the thing that happened the other day with him. He really cool guy, really cool YouTuber. He does videos about putting yourself out of your comfort zone, which I'm all about that shit, you know, putting yourself out of your comfort zone, trying new things, making new friends, like all that kind of shit is cool. I love that. And yeah, I ran into him in the city just incidentally, and I want to explain more about that in detail. I'll probably make like a whole video separate for it, and I'll talk about how we met, you know, and then I also want to give you guys maybe a little snippet if I can, but I don't think I can at the moment because I've only got my phone, or just a little snippet or a screenshot of the video so you guys can kind of see his video that he made. I think that'll be a really good video for me to make because it's an example for me to talk about what's it called? I just thought about, I'm like, why am I telling you guys my plan? But yeah, anyways, I already started, so what am I going to do? Yeah, so it'll be an example for me to be able to show you guys, kind of like a testimony of how life can change through your mentality, how you can manifest things at will through your thoughts and your feelings and your actions, right? So there's a really cool video that I want to make, and yeah, stay tuned for that one. That'll be freaking coming soon. So yeah, when it comes to the astrology, those are the general energies that we're experiencing right now, okay? And as we kind of leave Aquarius moon, we're going to be coming into Pisces moon. So Pisces moon is about dreams, delusions, imaginations, right? So when it comes to Pisces moon, this is when our dreams and our delusions and our imaginations start to become real, because it's a moon. It's going to be the world that we experience, right? So you're going to be experiencing your dreams, delusions, and your imaginations. So all the moon cycles prior to Pisces moon leading up to it, you'll be starting to see, oh my gosh, like whatever you've been thinking, feeling, imagining, anything, like anything you've been going through internally, and even yeah, just with the way that you're experiencing your reality, you're going to be, once we get into Pisces moon, you're going to be experiencing the imagination or the dream or the fantasy of what you've created, all right? So whether that's a good one or a bad one depends on you. How have you been thinking? How have you been feeling? How have you been going about your days, right? And that'll determine the dream or the delusion that you experience, which is nothing to be afraid of too, because at the end of the day, it's always a learning experience for you to be able to see what you can adjust and what you can get rid of. So when it comes to experiencing that dream and imagination, pay attention to what's in your reality, and that will give you pointers on what part of your reality, mentally, internally, you need to change and adjust in order to be experiencing, next time we come around to Pisces moon, the dream or the imagination that you want to experience. You know what I mean? So little little tip and trick for y'all. Anyways, so I hope you guys are able to get some little nuggets and wisdom. Actually, I don't even know why I say hope, like, because really at the end of the day, like, I don't mind like that much, but like I think it's more of a habitual thing than anything. But at the same time, you know, like maybe I just need to look in and realize maybe there's some part of me that does hope, you know. And as much as I don't want to say that I do hope, if I'm saying it, there must be some part of me that hopes, okay? So I was really going to say, hope you guys enjoyed, but like, honestly, who cares? Like, if you didn't enjoy it, you didn't enjoy it. It's not that big of a deal. Sorry, no offense to anyone on YouTube as well. You know, if you're the type of person to say, hope you guys enjoyed it, you know, no offense to you, but to me, that kind of sounds dumb coming out of my mouth. I don't like the sound. I don't like the reverberation that gives off to the walls, you know, like shit like that. So, that's going to be something that I'm going to work on a little bit more as the days go on, love. Alright, so, yes. And don't forget as well, guys, we're North Node in Aries, alright? So we're going to be feeling this kind of passionate push to go for our deep desires and passions, stepping out of our comfort zone, passionately stepping out of our comfort zone, right? So you may be feeling more impulsive, more motivated, more Aries, more driven to put yourself out of your comfort zone, to go and strive for your goals and whatever you want to achieve. And that requires you kind of stepping out of your comfort zone and going for your deep passions and desires. But because it's conjunct with Chiron as well, you know, this is like a time where you may, putting yourself out of your comfort zone may either kind of make you develop more wounds, or like sometimes traumatize yourself in a sense, because Chiron is the wounded healer. But it could be also an opportunity for you to sort of heal and release those certain Chiron energies that you're going through, alright? So when it comes to those kind of energies, you know, being mindful of that with the Aries North Node, and balance, always balance as well, you know. It's not about going out of your comfort zone all the time, or staying in your comfort zone all the time. You know, because some people say, oh, the comfort zone is where dreams go to die. In a sense, yes, but also sometimes the comfort zone can be a good space for you to grow, to flourish your dreams in order for you to get out of your comfort zone and enact those dreams, you know. So that's why you need both. You need your north node and your south node. Jumping into your south node is like what you know, like what you're more comfortable with, that kind of energy. And then jumping in your north node is like more of that unknown energy, jumping into a new experience. So you need to always balance and jump between these two in order for yourself to develop a balanced sense of self and a more balanced reality in general. But this applies to everything, you know. It's not just about the north node and the south node. This is about everything: Mars, Venus, the sun, the moon, like all of it. Balance is key, and this is why they always talk about that shit in spirituality. So, you know, you may not know this, or you may know this to a certain extent, but, you know, the more you start to pay attention to this form of balance, you'll be able to kind of see the little nuances of where balance may be needed, because balance is necessarily, you know, I keep saying that, necessary in all areas, right? So you need to be mindful to utilize balance wherever you can, as well not to overindulge in balance itself, because being overly balanced is also imbalanced, you know what I mean? So shit goes deep, like to the point where, you know, if you are overly balanced, your life will find a way that's still a form of a comfort zone in a way. So you're still sort of in your south node if you're overly balanced. So sometimes you need to kind of intentionally throw yourself off balance, in a sense, where to gain more balance, if that makes sense. So yeah, being mindful not to overindulge in balance and overindulge in concepts of like moderation and stuff like that, because even moderation, even doing everything in moderation, you're not at that point. You're getting to a certain point where you're overindulging in moderation or overindulging in balance itself, you know what I mean? So being mindful of those energies will help you to kind of get out of that kind of little loop maze mentality type shit right there as well. So yeah, freaking, it's all about awareness, guys. You know, building awareness, building minds in certain areas where you may not have thought that you needed to be building awarenesses in, and removing awarenesses and getting rid of certain awarenesses, associations, Aquarius, that you may not have realized that you actually needed to get rid of. You may think it's necessary to constantly be aware of something in your life, but it may be just the one thing that's actually throwing you completely out of whack. And as soon as you go to sleep on that thing, stop being aware of that thing, you start to realize things will play out a lot smoother, love. Right? So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, why do I say that? Anyways, don't mind me, guys. Oh, fuck that shit. Peace. I hope you guys enjoy your time, day, moment, wherever you are, love. Okay? Peace.